You can work 40 hours a week, save every penny, and still feel like money slips through your fingers. That's because the real enemy isn't your salary, your bills, or even the economy. The real enemy is invisible. It's inside you. It's your mindset about money. From a young age, we're conditioned to think in limited ways. That's too expensive. We can't afford that. Rich people are just lucky. These seemingly harmless phrases become ingrained as truths. And before we know it, we spend our entire lives under the influence of this silent programming, without ever questioning it. This programming has a name: scarcity mindset. It's that constant feeling that nothing is ever enough. It's the fear of loss, the impulse to spend everything now because tomorrow might not come. It's the belief that wealth is only for a lucky few, and you're not one of them. When you believe this, you behave as if it's true. You avoid risks, live defensively, settle for less. And the worst part? Even when you start earning more, you keep sabotaging yourself. Because it's not just about money. It's about how you see money. And if you see it as something always out of reach, you'll keep acting like someone who can't reach it. Always. But there is another path. A path where money isn't a haunting ghost, but a tool for building. This is the abundance mindset, and it's the mindset behind how wealthy people think. Unlike scarcity, which focuses on what's missing, abundance focuses on what's possible. Rich people don't ask, "How much will this cost me?" They ask, "How much can this generate for me?" They don't avoid investments out of fear. They study, calculate, and take action with long-term vision. They don't wait for the right moment. They create it. And the truth is, this way of thinking isn't a gift or a privilege. It's a construction, intentional, daily, accessible. That construction starts with understanding that failure is part of the journey. While someone with a scarcity mindset sees failure as proof they weren't meant for success, someone who thinks like the wealthy sees failure as part of the process. That's how successful entrepreneurs, investors, and professionals grow, by adjusting course, learning from mistakes, and never stopping. They're not gifted. They just think differently. They're playing a different game. A game where fear doesn't set the rules. Where money isn't the end goal but the means. Where opportunities are created, not just waited for. And all of it begins in the mind. But how was this mind shaped? Where did the ideas we carry come from? Most people never stop to think about that. We grow up absorbing everything around us. If you saw your parents fighting about money, if you heard that investing is risky, that wanting to be rich is selfish, those messages got recorded. Even if today you say you want to succeed, your subconscious is still running old software. And that software will sabotage every attempt to grow until you choose to reprogram it. And the first step in that reprogramming is awareness. Recognizing that those beliefs aren't yours. They're inherited. They reflect a reality that doesn't have to be yours. With that awareness, the next step is action. And that's where the 3 pillars of mental transformation come in: internal language, environment, and conscious action. The way you talk to yourself shapes your identity. Saying, "I'm terrible with money," becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Replace that narrative with something constructive. "I'm learning. I'm improving. I'm capable of change." Your brain responds to repetition. The way you define yourself is the way you behave. The second pillar is environment. If you surround yourself with people who only complain, who live in survival mode, who mock anyone trying to grow, guess what happens? Your brain adapts to that pattern. Start consuming content that expands your vision. Listen to stories of people who started from nothing. Stay close to those who lift you up. Your environment shapes your future, even if you don't notice it. And that brings us to the third pillar, conscious action. Many people wait to feel ready before acting, but the secret is to act even when you don't feel ready. Start small. Track your expenses. Build a savings buffer, no matter how tiny. Read 10 pages a day about finance. Every micro-action is a brick in the construction of a new identity. And if you still doubt this change is possible, let me share a real story. Lucas, 32 years old, grew up in an environment where money was always a source of tension. As an adult, he repeated the same pattern. Income in, debt rising, dreams postponed. Until he decided to break the cycle. He started by changing his internal language, replacing "I'm bad with numbers" with "I'm learning how to manage my money." He distanced himself from negative influences and immersed himself in content about mindset, investment, and financial freedom. He created a new environment, even while physically staying in the same place. And most importantly, he acted. Even afraid, even with little, even making mistakes. 2 years later, Lucas is debt-free, has an emergency fund, invests consistently, and has clarity about his future. He didn't become rich overnight, but he gained something even more valuable: autonomy, peace, direction. Because he realized that true transformation doesn't start with a financial breakthrough. It starts with a mental decision, with choosing not to repeat inherited patterns, to stop living in fear, to no longer be a prisoner of scarcity. And now, that choice is in your hands. Will you keep telling yourself that money is a problem, that you'll never have enough, that investing is risky? Or will you start today writing a new story? A story where money is your ally, where you feel in control, where your financial decisions come from a free mind, not a fearful heart. Because financial freedom doesn't start with a spreadsheet. It starts with a shift in perspective, an internal, invisible, yet powerful shift. And that shift is available now. The question is, are you ready to take the first step? Abundance is not a privilege. It's a path. And it begins with how you think.